the best way to solve problems is asking better questions. We don't have really good, and it's from the famous, it's from the book, but also the movie, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
What was this question? The question was, what's the secret to the universe, or what's the meaning of human life? And the supercomputer says it's like 42 or 47. But the moral of the story is, like, you ask a really stupid
question, you get a stupid answer.
Like a stupid question. Like, question has no merit whatsoever. Ask better questions. And so you're in this position of like, shit, like I need to provide for my family. I can't just quit my job, and I'm stressed to the max. Now, most human beings, they look at their situation in a binary mode, meaning I have option A or I have option B. When in reality, you have option A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Many different shades of gray. And we need to ask ourselves better questions to figure out what are the means that we have to create right now to get to the end. And so we'll use this person as an example. We'll call him Charlie. And Charlie is, he's making good money, but he's a provider of his house. And you can't just tell Charlie to quit. He has a daughter, he has a wife, a house, all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So what does Charlie do? Charlie just continues what he's doing. And for him, it's bleak because he doesn't see any other options. Where else can he get a job? He's getting paid $100K, 6-figure salary.
Yeah.
But the problem is Charlie doesn't have proper mental frameworks or models to ask better questions.
Better questions for sure, better understanding. I feel like you're right about mental frameworks. I mean, mental frameworks go beyond Charlie's life. They go how societies are structured, right? And what you said is very true also when you look at the lineage of philosophy. Like which is fascinating that since Plato, almost every philosopher has thought in duality. So in a framework that it's option A and there's option B, which is dualism.
Yes.
And you're always trying to transcend from the worst place to the next one, whether it's religion. All Abrahamic religions are talking about you're transcending from this world to the next world, which is evergreen, etc. You go into all the philosophers, it's the same thing. Until now, we're talking about the post-structuralists, postmodernists, like Gilles Deleuze, right? They are talking about maybe philosophy is about not about this duality and transcendence. It's about frameworks to understand the chaos of life. The chaos is happening, but we need frameworks to understand them better. And back to Charlie's life and preventative methodology. Like, yes, Charlie has a family. Charlie is used to making $100K. Charlie has a car. But let's go back to how Charlie got to that. If you take a little bit of a preventative method, before you buy that house, you think hard. If you want to think about it, you have to understand a little bit more about personal finance, how debt works. If you understood about the hedonic adaptation of the brain, hedonic treadmill, to realize there's no end, you want more gradual progress as opposed to $10 million in my bank today and I'll be the happiest. And people who say that, they just don't know about the hedonic treadmill.
This is why in like Hinduism and Buddhism, they're like, how the fuck do I escape this vicious cycle?
Exactly.
Because whether you believe in reincarnation or not, everything's cyclical. It's like, I'm going to have to repeat this for 1 billion years.
And never
I'm out now.
Check me out.
Meditate, figure it out. I'm fucking leaving this shit right now.
So people don't know about these inner wiring of themselves, which hedonic adaptation is built into all of us. So whatever I get, I want more at a very small future, like a short future from now, right? So when you have that understanding, you ask better questions, you learn about these things, but we actually have a lot more knowledge in the world than most people have access to or know how to ask, because
problem with knowledge is the labeling of knowledge. We have data, right? Same thing. I can go to any website. I can go to PubMed. I got more power in my palm over here than King of England did 100 years ago, right here. Like even the early 2000s, this has more power than a computer. Like this is a fucking supercomputer. This thing is ridiculously strong.
Yeah.
Still data.
It's just,
I haven't integrated. I don't know how it applies to me. The thing is, like, what scientists need to understand, and Neuroscience gets it. I think so. But there's a reason why religion is so powerful, is there's a myth aspect. How does this apply to me? How do I integrate this data into my ethos, into my mythology? Because right now, it means nothing to me whatsoever. It doesn't.
It's a foreign knowledge.
Exactly. You need to, I want to say evolve it, but it needs to be a chimera. You need to figure out how you take this information, whether it's like benefits of neuroscience or benefits of sleeping, X, Y, and Z. How do we wrap this up and how do we integrate it into my mythological belief system? This is a problem where we have in religion today. Religion hasn't updated its mythological relevance to be relevant with modern day science and society. Its model of thinking is based on 1500 years ago. That's the fundamental. It's not religion itself that's the problem. It's the fact that it hasn't updated itself whatsoever.
The APIs are still old.
Well, they're not pre-API. There's no API socket whatsoever.
And you're dead on. I mean, you look at mythology, like the best way to transfer that has been through storytelling.
Number one invention of human beings.
And that's why mythologies were so strong, because essentially, and it's always put in the hero's journey. Like the hero would come, battle the dragon of the time, slay the dragon. Now the hero has to come back, tell its cult the story so that the knowledge gets transferred, right? But
the thing with the myth or the stories are narratives. And narratives create our reality and perception of how we perceive the world.
Yes.
And this, we get in science of cognitive biases, etc.
Yes.
There's a whole fucking list of them. It's like we're discovering new ones all the time, and they stack against each other, so forth and so forth. So these are narratives. It's we're creating. There's that crazy theory of a biocentrism, or we're creating reality as we perceive it.
Yes.
Like this doesn't exist.
There's no reality. It's just how you perceive it, and
in real time.
Yeah. And it's through your five senses.
Yeah.
And when you distill it to such simple terms, you're like, oh, I understand how what I've manufactured of my life and my narrative, and just like, no, it's just your arbitrary version of it. And sometimes it's very freeing.